Hey, there's no shame in trying things that people ain't never tried before.
I'm a huge fan of snakes, which, coming off the paraphilia video, I ought to be careful about saying, but when I was younger, I kept 3 separate snakes as pets, 2 red rats, 1 yellow rat, and I loved them to death. But they didn't love me. But that is primarily why I loved them. You see, snakes, unlike other pets, mammals, and even other reptiles, don't think, aren't actually conscious, and require almost no maintenance or attention. If you're gone for a few days, your dog will miss you, but your snake won't. Your snake doesn't know you exist. Your snake doesn't care that you exist. They're more like robots, really. More complex biological machines than thinking, feeling entities. If you put a snake in a plastic container, which most reptile handlers do, for an extended period of time, they won't care as long as they're fed. I bring this up because for the last month or so, I've been considering adopting a pet, but I wasn't sure which to choose. I could adopt a dog, but dogs are a lot of work, require plenty of attention, and offer almost nothing besides companionship in return. You could take it from the defense angle, but if that's the case, you want defense security, why not just buy a gun and a chicken? Chickens are mouthy little fuckers, and they offer you eggs, and a gun is portable. You can take your gun with you anywhere. Unless you live somewhere else. In which case you could file papers, wait 3 weeks and then adopt a chicken, and then take a concealed spoon permit class, get your license, and then you can carry your spoon with you everywhere. But I digress. Dog, bad choice. Especially because women, dog moms, really have made me hate dogs, but I digress again, back to the point. Could get a chicken, could get a rooster. Those are both good options, but both require a lot of work and a lot of attention, especially if you want both to be healthy. Attention I can't offer. Plus, I'm not a big egg eater, and roosters don't offer much in the way of defense, besides being absolutely adorable. Then I considered reptiles. I actually had a bearded dragon once when I was younger, and he made a fine pet, but in hindsight, I didn't give him the love or attention he needed either. And plus, upon further reading, reptiles are very picky, with their environments and diets changing as the year progresses, and based on where you live, which is just a lot for nothing in return. So then I finally got back to snakes. Why don't I adopt a snake? Snakes make fine pets, require no attention, and are pretty neat for the most part. Low maintenance. But they don't think. These are not companions. They are essentially robots. So why am I taking care of something that doesn't even know I'm there? If that's the case, if that's what I want, why don't I just raise a cactus like Double D? Name it Jim. Well, because I want the companionship, obviously. I don't want something that isn't conscious. You can't have a relationship with something that isn't sentient. I'm sorry, Mr. Sayers. But that got me thinking, right? What are creatures all, if not biological machines? Take chickens, for example. They're little converters. They take in things we don't or can't eat and convert them into eggs, things we love eating. That's why we domesticated them, and because we domesticated them, they've survived better than they would have on their own. It all comes back to survival and evolution, but let me be more clear in case I wasn't here. Let's go back to snakes. Snakes are essentially nothing but muscles and nerves, but they don't need to be anything more because muscles and nerves are good enough to survive. We evolve based on what we need to survive. Snakes will probably never evolve to anything higher because what they are works just fine. But we, humans, evolved, grew into intelligence, and we thrived from it. But that begs the question, did our sentience evolve to help us survive? Did our empathy evolve to help us survive? Did our morality, our compass, evolve to help us survive? Did religion come into play via evolution to help us survive? Or at least maintain societies which would help humans survive? For example, an experience I had with one of my professors. He was going through a very hard time. He was one of the only professors in that school I liked, and one of two I truly respected. He was a good man. Even though I disagreed with him on many things, he often used evidence to back up his beliefs. Thank God. I wish more leftists could do that, because then we wouldn't have such contention, would we? I didn't do as much as I could have, and I didn't do as much as I should have to help him out, but I at least gave him a gift card so he could at least have a nice meal. Something nice. And you'd think, I thought I did that because I liked him, but really it was the law of reciprocity. I respected him and he was nice to me when no one else was. I wanted his approval, and I wanted to return the favor of being nice. That's what that was, fundamentally, psychologically. I would say, that's what it was. It seemed like empathy, but it really wasn't. But really, that is empathy. Giving him that gift card was an empathetic move, because empathy is founded in logic when we think it's love or kindness or something grand from the bottom of our souls, but it is numbers and chemicals. And then that comes back to love just being chemicals, but you've already heard that a million times, and Freud and phallic symbols, there's a lot of truth in that. And we know all of this. If you've reflected at all, thought at all, really dissected your moves, your thoughts, your feelings, you know this. Which is a cult leader-ish sounding thing to say, but it's honesty. We know all of this, and yet we still believe our consciousness is not just chemicals. Just machines functioning as programmed. Just machines surviving optimally. So are we conscious? Are we sentient? Are we souls? Or are we just machines? Is asking that question evidence of our souls? Or is that just part of it? Is that just part of us surviving better? Men today are questioning women because women make their survival unreliable. Post-sexual revolution, women get pumped and dumped in their 20s, have kids, and then find a stable man to cuck in their 30s. And we've seen this happen, so we aren't fucking them while we're in our 20s because we don't want to have to pay child support. And we aren't settling with them in our 30s because fuck raising another man's kid for some stupid whore. And that is fucking part of it. That seems like it would go against evolution, not having kids, but this is the logical thing to do. Why do you think single, unemployed white males are so happy? Because they aren't tied down and playing into this terrible system, even though it goes against what evolution seems like it would want them to do. It seems like it would be a bad idea, a bad choice, and certainly there are side effects, but men are surviving better now that they are aware and going against it. And that is part of our consciousness, our intelligence, helping us survive more optimally. So are we really conscious, then? Or are we just adapting and evolving and surviving as we were programmed to once again?
I don't know, my friendly subscribers. I don't
I don't know. I don't know if we are or not. What I can say is that maybe, perhaps, our programming is what makes our existence beautiful, or is what gives us our souls. Without these chemicals, without these irrational drives, we would not be irrational. We would not do insane things, acts of random love and kindness, charity. At least not as we currently view and understand it. I'm sure in a robo-society charity would still exist, but it would be solely based on value. Whereas with us, charity and acts of love are just that, acts of love. Irrational. We don't consider them based solely on value. We are charitable and loving, or even hateful and violent, because of our drives. And while that may seem ridiculous, or even though it may just be programming, it does affect our experience in life directly. Remember what I said in my Night in the Woods video about living for today, enjoying every sandwich? Well, your experience is directly defined and influenced by the body you currently inhabit. Those drives directly influence your life, and they can make it beautiful, even if in reality it isn't. The guy who throws pebbles at the window and stands outside with a boombox, in reality, is a fucking retard and is better off finding a more suitable partner. But in life, that act of love and irrationality could be seen as beautiful. So maybe these drives are a good thing, and maybe we should listen to them, even if we are just ones and zeros and chemicals and whatnot. But really, I don't know. And even if I did know, and it kinda seems like consciousness is a bunch of bullshit, but I wanted to present you with my thoughts, seemingly what is objective, and then giving you two perspectives, and I think I've done that pretty well. On one hand, it's bullshit. Our bodies evolved as tools, and our minds evolved as operators to facilitate better survival across the board. I mentioned that in the paraphilia video just a little bit. And on the other hand, it's bullshit. Our bodies evolved as tools, and our minds evolved as operators to facilitate survival across the board. But it's beautiful, which actually may hold some credence and could help you enjoy every sandwich just a bit better. So actually, in summary, we did find an answer. Woohoo! Yeah, congratulations you. And me. Consciousness is bullshit, but we can use our tools and our minds, we can use our programming to enjoy ourselves a bit better once we know about it and accept it. And you know, I think I'm alright with that. I think I'm alright with hating most women and obsessing over phallic symbols, not wanting to buy a handgun unless it feels really large and powerful in my hand, despite it having no effect on the caliber of bullet I'm using or anything else, really. But what do you guys think? Do you think consciousness is bullshit? Do you think we are ultimately more than snakes? What do you think about love, evolution, and your drives? How do you handle them? How do you see them factoring into your experience? Do they really help you enjoy every sandwich, enjoy every day better? Or do they hold you back ultimately? And what do you think of Love Song Boombox Guy? Do you admire him? Do you admire his love? Or do you think he's a dumbass? Even after all this mushy acceptance shit I've already said, I still hate Boombox Guy. But hey, that's just me. You know what I love? I really love my boy Ramble Times my boy Ramble Times channel. Link in the description. But that about wraps it up, everybody. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. Like if you enjoyed, because that helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit more than weekly. Or at least when I can manage. I thought all this family and funeral shit was over, but we got another week of it, son, so hopefully I can get some uploads in, but usually we upload a lot. So go ahead and subscribe. And comment your thoughts, because I am very interested in hearing what you have to say, especially on this subject. This one is so open-ended, and we are never going to have real answers, but I would really love to hear what my 18 to 35-year-old male demographic thinks about life and existence and consciousness. But thanks again for watching, everybody, really. I don't know what I'd do without you. We have a lot of fun on this channel. Like, you jump out of a plane and you're skydiving, you don't pull a chute. You pull the chute and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. That's how much fun we have. The fun keeps you from falling and dying, so you better fucking pull the chute. You better pull the fun chute. But anyways, thank you for watching. Glad to have you. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.